Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Tuesday live stream. And today, I almost got scammed, and it was this close away. And I got to tell you, I am probably one of the more paranoid people you're going to meet in the digital asset space. And I went through all the checks, and it still came to this close. And there was one thing that saved me. So let's just jump into it. Well, actually, also talk about that, and also we'll talk about Jerome Powell and inflation, Cardano, and looks like there's an airdrop called Midnight. Chainlink and Mastercard, and also Dog Go to Moon. So this is what I was talking about. I got an email today. Actually, it was yesterday, and I was going through it, and it said, hey, it seemed legitimate. First of all, it says, hey, good afternoon, digital asset team. This is an email to confirm receipt of our first contact. And I had been talking to these guys beforehand. So I was like, oh, okay, well, it's not another person. We at Crypto.com are very interested in moving forward with a possible partnership between us, which I have to tell you, all these emails, I must get like 30 or 40. It seemed like a day, and I just delete them all. But when I saw who it came from, which the domain was there at Crypto.com, I was like, okay, this is legitimate. And I was like, well, I'm going to reach out. Then I thought to myself, okay, wait. I tell everybody to be very careful. I need to be careful. You have to set the example, right? So when I went through it, I'm like, well, maybe there's some things that are just a little bit off on this one. So the first thing I noticed that there was a big blue check mark. And when I hovered over it, Google says, hey, the sender of this email has verified that they own Crypto.com. And the logo is in the profile image. I'm like, okay, it's looking pretty good. When you click on learn more, it says, like, look, if it's a verified email, it's gone through brand indicators or messaging identification, or BIMI. It's gone through a verified mark certificate. It's gone through DMARC, domain-based message authentication. I'm like, okay, check. This is looking pretty good. Then we come over to here, and I'm like, okay, well, let's just show the original. And I did this as another video. There's a link in the description in which I put in all of my videos of, what to watch out for as far as emails. And I just clicked, okay, show original, because I want to take a look at the DMARC, SPF, and DKIM. And it all passed, meaning that it came from Crypto.com, which means all the emails that you get, it could go through this, and you could say, oh, it's from Coinbase.com, or it's from pick your favorite exchange, or pick your favorite whatever. And it's check. It's maxing it out. Like, okay, I'm going to respond to this. And I thought to myself, something doesn't sit right. Just the way the message is formatted, if something's going on. Let me just do this. And this is what I recommend everybody to do. When you think that there's a scam or something's a little bit awry, go put in a ChatGPT or Grok and just ask them and say, hey, what should I be checking out for, just to be sure, right? And I said, hey, I'm worried about scams. Can you tell me this is a legitimate source? Here's the email. And it said, yeah, this looks legitimate. It looks pretty good. Whoops. And key observations, this is the domain itself, and it's gone through DKIM and the other parts. The potential red flags, lack of personalization, no context. And it says, check the email header, and it looks like it is Crypto.com. Look for a visual branding, consult your team. But it said this, and it makes sense. This is what I've always said before. Contact Crypto.com directly. If you just don't want to screw around with it, if you get some email from, again, pick your favorite exchange, pick your favorite project, just go to that project. Find the official page and just reach out to them. And this is where I think some exchanges fail, which is they don't have fast customer service. Well, Crypto.com, I have an account with them. I logged in, went to the support, and I'll be damned if I didn't get a real person. It was crazy. Like I had to go through like this little hoop to say, hey, this is what's going on. Can I talk to a real person? And within like 2 minutes, I got some person, and they said, okay, here's what I want you to do. Send me the email, and we'll review it. Reviewed it, and he said, yeah, that's not right. This is not an official Crypto.com communication channel. There's nobody by that name. And then I said, did you send the funds to him? I said, no. And they go, okay, just verify it here. And there's a website they gave me, Crypto.com/US/verify, which I think everybody should have. And I ran that email through it. And again, after everything that we go to verify, right? It's got the blue check mark. It's got the original SPF, DMARC, DKIM, all that great stuff, which says it is actually from the domain. And all that stuff was worthless. It wasn't. It was a scam. So what can minimize your scamming and the repercussions or the collateral damage that you're going to face is, first of all, if this was a scam and we went back and forth in the email, not a big deal until they like say, let's do a meeting. And then it would probably be a Zoom meeting. And if I had, I don't know, like my entire life savings or half or even 5% into some hot wallet, when I'm going through these Zoom meetings, which we talked about in length, they could probably drain it. So here's what you're going to do. You're going to stop with these hot wallets. You can use them a little bit, just kind of like how you carry 20 bucks, 50 bucks, 100 bucks around in your real wallet. And the other stuff, you're going to keep it in cold storage. So even if you get scammed, you don't get scammed and screwed over for everything. But I linked this in the description. You can check this out. And again, here's my diversification of safety. I got a bunch of TANGEMs, I got a bunch of ledgers, and I'm using iTRUST for custodial services. They are the same ones that use Coinbase Prime, like BlackRock and Michael Saylor. I don't know if you heard of these guys. And yeah, they got 24/7. Well, you can buy and sell crypto 24/7, but they have live client service. Like you can call this number. Oh yeah. And they got a great review, 5 stars as far as from what is this one? Trustpilot. And there's like a real number. And I linked this in the description. And what's great about this is if you have crypto, you don't have to sell it and then buy an ETF like how you'd have to do with every single ETF out there. You just send it to them. Coinbase Prime does the rest. And there's no fees to send it in. Now, there is a 1% sell fee. But I got to tell you, for peace of mind and custodial services, I did it myself. I took a big fat chunk of it. So I don't want to deal with it. And that's what's up. So anyhow, let me know what you think about that in the comment section. I mean, I'm just getting very tired of this. And it seems like every day there's more scams. Anyhow, so there's that negative news. Debbie Downer, that is Rob, sorry. Let's talk about some more bad news. Let's talk about, let's talk about some news that is quite interesting, we'll say. It's not negative, it's not positive, it's just Jerome Powell. And what he was talking before Congress, they were drilling him like crazy. They asked him, like, why haven't you raised any of the, or why haven't you performed rate cuts yet? Everybody's done it. All the different, a lot of different countries throughout the world have, and we're just stuck here. Even though we have a strong economy and inflation seems to be on a downward trajectory. Why are you not cutting rates? And it's interesting because like when you listen to this clip, think about what Jerome Powell has always said. We're going to be data dependent. We're going to take a look at this information. Then we'll make the decision, go from there. But here it's kind of a little bit wonky. So maybe I'm just not hearing it right. So just take a listen to this. Hold on real quick. Let me make sure that you can hear this perfectly. There we are. Take a listen to this, about a minute or so.
So what is it that's keeping, in your mind, the Fed from what many of us believe is the right thing to do, which is to lower some interest rates, and by the way, match what the Bank of Canada, Bank of England, the European Central Bank, the Swiss Central Bank, a number of emerging central banks, by the way, that's your own assessment on page 33, as where you're laying that out. Why aren't we doing what the rest of the world is doing? Is it because we're at full employment? Is it because of those tariffs concerns that you said weren't part of the analysis? Was it energy, groceries, durable goods? Why?
So you're right that if you just look in the rearview mirror and look at the existing data that we've seen, you can make a good argument that would call for us to be at a neutral level, which would be, a couple of cuts or maybe more kind of thing. The reason we're not is the forecast by all professional forecasters that I know of on the outside and the Fed do expect a meaningful increase in inflation over the course of this year. When I said we weren't going to talk about tariffs and inflation, that was to say until we see what the policies are. And so now we know a lot more. It's 6 months since I said that. So anyway, I'd be happy to continue this.
It's just interesting, just how he says that. He talks about, this is the information that we have, and if you retrospectively look at it, just the data. But he comes out and says, the professional forecasters say it is a certain way. And I'm not here to say like, oh, this is the only way to do things. I mean, Jerome Powell is Jerome Powell, right? He has a very tough job. I think he just doesn't want to be say, the Burns of 1979, he wants to be Volcker. And of course, the Fed chair in those times, they did two different trajectories. One cut rates, and it led to massive inflation, and it led to a recession. And Volcker came in and said, we can't do that. We're going to raise rates. And he raised rates, immensely high. And it stopped us from going into depression. So I get where he's going, but sometimes I think that there's a little bit too much caution. But I could be wrong. I mean, who am I to say? Let me know what you think about that in the comment section. And then also, as we're talking about different things that are happening throughout, Midnight. Now, I get a lot of questions about this. Cardano is having, it's actually not Cardano. Midnight is a whole separate project, but they are working together with the Cardano Foundation for Night tokens. And just so you know, it's not just Cardano holders. If you hold Bitcoin, or if you hold Ethereum, Solana, XRP, BNB, Avalanche, Basic Attention Token, or BAT, you're going to be part of this. Everybody's going to be part of this. So who gets this? First of all, from what I understand, if you hold these things, ADA, Bitcoin, ETH, Sol, XRP, BNB, AVAX, and BAT on a exchange, you are not eligible. You have to hold them in cold storage or even hot storage wallets. So if that's the case, then it kind of falls in line with our rules behind us. Number 3, don't leave things in exchanges. That's why I say 0% exchanges. I've learned my lesson for different collapses. So what does this mean? Okay, I linked this website in the description. Basically what it's gonna be like this. It's not gonna be an airdrop. You're gonna have to come and claim it. And you're gonna make a claim. And this is why what I like to say, like sometimes you do less and you make more. If you wanna be a part of this, that's great. And people are always gonna ask me like, well, Rob, what about your Cardano stake pool? Are you a part of that? It's not the issue here. The issue is, do you have your, like I just talked about, all those different crypto assets? Are they in a non-custodial wallet or not? If they're an exchange, you're not going to get anything. If you control it, if you have your keys, then you're fine. Same thing here. So make a claim, and it looks like you're going to come to this site, access the Night Claim portal whenever that is open, and then people will ask, well, how do I know who's actually eligible for this? They took a snapshot as of June 11th. So if you didn't have over $100 in those digital assets, in those wallets, you're not eligible anyhow. So you have, the snapshot's already done. I didn't know about it. I'm just finding about this, yesterday. They did it on June 11th so that they wouldn't tip anybody off. Now it's $100 worth. If that's you, great. You're going to come here. You're going to go to the portal page. It's going to look something like this. You're going to put in your address. You say, oh, you got this many nights or for the actual airdrop of Midnight. Well, great. But not only that, you have to let it thaw. You got to let it thaw. There's a thawing schedule. So you got to wait for a certain amount of time. And of course, only 25% is thawed, and then 50% and 75 and 100%. This is on day 1, 25 and 90. So hopefully you don't forget. I'll remind people, but I'm just saying that there's some hoops to jump through. Anyhow, if that interests you, links in the description, check that out and go from there. And then, actually, this was it. Good news, Chainlink. Looks like Chainlink and Mastercard partnered to enable over 3 billion cardholders to purchase crypto directly on chain. This is big. And Visa is kind of hung up on the whole stablecoin thing. So I don't know if there was a talk of a partnership with Visa before with Chainlink, but not for sure. But that's probably why you might see Chainlink pump recently, because they are going to be doing a partnership directly with MasterCard. Here's what it is. Cardholders worldwide can purchase crypto through a secure fiat to crypto conversion, which I think is pretty cool. It's like an exchange without an exchange. It's powered by Chainlink's secure interoperability and MasterCard's global payments. Additional integration is from Shift for Payments, Swapper Finance, and XSwap. So all that really says to me is that there's more options for people to buy crypto or digital assets. That is fantastic. And then lastly, dog go to the moon. This is Bitcoin runes. And that is, well, to figure this whole thing out, dog go to the moon is what I've been talking about for quite some time, about 7 months ago or so. Essentially, it's meme coins. and it's on the Bitcoin blockchain. And everybody's like, why does Rob talk about meme coins? Because sometimes things get boring and you want to gamble a little bit. And that's pretty much what it is. So as I'm talking about this, I have a big fat bag. So I hope everybody knows that I am super biased when I talk about this stuff. But it's going to be listed on Kraken on Friday, apparently. And it's up like 26%, which is pretty good. But over a year, it's down 25%. So don't look at this and go, oh, it's going to be awesome. Maybe it'll be a big thing. Maybe it won't. I like the community and all that great stuff. It is a meme coin. We'll see what works out. And we'll see what happens on Friday. So we'll see. I like that. I like that project. And that's it for today. So look, like today's video, give it a thumbs up. Consider subscribing. What we talk about is time sensitive. Now we'll get into a little Q&A. I'll answer all your questions. And we'll go from there. All right. Let's see. Mark says, my Spidey sense says no, thank you. Look, a lot of these things, these meme coins, they got pretty bad rap. And for good reason. They suck. But Doggone Moon just has a special place in my heart. And I just like the project. I like the people. And they want ordinals and runes to do pretty well. What's the difference between ordinals and runes? Essentially, it's a funny thing because Michael Saylor even talked about ordinals as how they could actually accelerate the adoption of Bitcoin, because you can use those things and do a proof of identity or digital ID. So that was pretty interesting how he said that. Now runes, as far as ordinals, are a little bit different. Those are like coins on Bitcoin or meme coins. And it's a whole nother thing. So just watch that video. Links in the description. You can check it out. And let's see. And PH says, Kraken doesn't usually list S coins. Well, I mean, it depends on your definition of what an S coin is. That's the big thing. So with this one, again, community is pretty great. Smash the like. Sounds like a scam. When tomato coin to the moon? Never. Let's see. Oh, I will say one thing about tomato coin. I did this airdrop for all the D-News stakeholders, and then everybody just dumped it on me. So, touche. I guess that's the thing. I still have my 1.05 million tomato coins still in my wallet. You can check it out. Actually, I think on the website, it still shows you the wallet. So, yeah, should have dumped on all you people. But I just couldn't do it because, again, soft place in the heart. Hey, Rob, I don't see the 30 key indicators. The 30 key indicators in the links? I don't know what that is. If you're talking about Coin Glass and the 30 indicators, just do a Google search, I guess. Yeah, just do Coin Glass 30 indicators. And if you're talking about this, I don't link to this all the time. It's not. But what it is the bull market peak indicators. And as you may notice, not one of these things is actually topped off. And it's everything that's you would probably want to check out. MVRBZ score, Powell multiple, pi cycle top, days of ETF net outflows, little stuff that you might want to be aware of. And it's pretty easy because it just makes it like, did it actually click? Has it hit the mark or not? And so far, nothing. So we'll see. We will see. Yeah. That was a new word to me, Google Translate. Yes. Soul Bull. Embarrassingly, I'll be eligible for this. That's great. And Smithologist says that has a good point. You can't get phished if you never check your email. That's very true. Just don't check it. There's very little things that are actually good in my email inbox. Very, very few. Let's see. And for link. And anyone's got a good point. Using MasterCard to buy crypto that way is super expensive. Probably true, but it's not for us. You have to understand this is mostly for people who are just kind of getting into it. Like, oh, look at that. It's only 5% fee. Seems like a big deal. I mean, I don't know what it is. But yeah, it just leads us to mass adoption. People get into it. Again, I think people are a little bit more cautious getting into crypto since the collapse of 2022 and everything else that happened. Let's see. Oh, look at that. I used so I'm going to buy some other coins in DeFi. Me as well. What is DOT missing? I'm not for sure, Jeff. It was such a great project on its way, and people talk about how great it is, but just very stagnant. We'll see. I got some dog. Great. Kraken IPO is going to crush coin. I'm holding for that. And yeah, Kraken does list next coins. That's another good point. I'm waiting for that Kraken IPO because Circle is doing great. CRCL, I think, is the ticker, which it is a publicly traded company as of, I want to say 2 weeks ago. And it's done massive returns. Shout out to Simon Dixon for him and his company Bank of the Future for being a part of that. I mean, he was one of many investors into that one. So Circle's doing good. Now if Kraken comes out and does an IPO, I'm going to have a meeting with him on Thursday with Kraken because I'm trying to maximize what you guys get when you sign up with Kraken. And that's one of the things I'm going to talk about to them is that Kraken IPO. They're probably not going to tell me much about it, but I'm keen to see if I can get into something like that. Now, if I can get into something like that, now we're talking. Pre-IPO stuff. Oh, Steven says, well, you scammed a lot of people with VGX shill last cycle. You deserve it. You know, it's a question and it's a statement I get a lot from. And someone said the same thing to me on Twitter a couple of days ago. And I remind everybody with VGX or Voyager, and let's have a trip down memory lane. First of all, the token and the exchange. The token I told everybody about when it was like 10 or 20 cents. I don't know if you know or remember how much it actually went up to. It was up to almost $6. So I told you about it when it was 10 or 20 cents, and it went to almost $6. You're welcome. Then, of course, there was, well, Rob, it collapsed and everything went on, and I didn't take any profits. And as a reminder, I sent you a video, or I did a video 2 weeks before it actually collapsed. And because of that video, I've had many people say, hey, thanks for putting that video out because I watched that and I took everything off on the exchange, which of course is why when we talk about these things, I have these rules underneath me, which rule number 3, don't leave things on exchanges. So yes, I did talk about Voyager. Did I know that they did a $640 million uncollateralized loan to Three Arrows Capital? No, not 2 weeks before because they were a publicly traded company in Canada and they had actually put that information out. And that's when I did it. So this comment that you say, yes, I did talk about Voyager. Yes, I tried to warn you. Was I perfect? No, that's how it is. But Stephen, I guess if you think I deserve it, that's your opinion. It's no way, shape, or form, and something that I should be concerned with what you think of me. I hold my tomato coin forever. That's pretty good. I like that. Let's see. Dot inflation rate is too high. I think crypto goes up every time you broadcast. I'm hoping. Let's see. Will Polygon revive? Ooh, guy has a good video about Circle. I got to check that out. That'd be a very good one. Tesla says, they all lied to everyone. Rob is awesome. I didn't deserve that crap. You know. Andrew says, Steven Sushi, you're responsible for your own plays, blaming a YouTuber that is overly transparent of his holdings is moronic. It's very weak. I mean, look, I'm not going to ban anybody or stagnate any type of comments. And these are the comments. Don't rise to the a-holes, Rob. We know you're genuine like James. Like James from Vesta. James is, oh my God. James is a very transparent individual. I like him very much. I know some people, look, you're always going to find someone that doesn't like somebody. Yeah. They should have watched and actually listened to the show Rob did about, yeah, this is true. But I mean, I get it. Like, you know, you say one thing at the beginning of the year and then people think it's just going to be like, oh, it's going to keep going on. That happens. Shoot. J2Day. Now, this is the real tragedy. Again, sphere of control. What can we control? I can't control people's thoughts about me, but this is something that's interesting. J2Day, Kraken said I can no longer use them because my state is protecting me harder. I'm going to guess you are either in New York or Washington State, perhaps. One of those two usually are the ones that try to protect everybody harder. Man, I'm sorry about that. That does suck. Let's see. Secret network. I have no idea what this. Chainlink keeps growing. It does, and it's every single chain is going to use that. I mean, as far as like an oracle, but it's not just that. People have corrected me, and they're right. They say, Rob, it's not just an oracle. You know, it's a legitimate layer 1 solution. If you really think about it, I'm like, well, it could definitely be. Chainlink is just one of those projects that just does great things, has great partnerships, and just doesn't really crack off. See, James is amazing. Been with since 21. There you go. It's always back and forth. Yes, Kraken's no longer available. Sorry, Joseph. That sucks. Let's see. Zoran says, I have sent an email and it's not a scam. Got it, Zoran. There's in the links in the description at the very bottom is my email. So send it to me like right now, because I go through a lot of things and I sometimes just massively delete everything. Because like I said, most of the time it's just gone and it's just junk. Rob got me into near below 90 cents. What if am I complaining? Yeah. Someone said, Dan, this is looking good. This is looking good. If somebody calls me Dan, that means we got newbies here. This is fantastic. Let's see. Oh, I think Meme is correct. This is looking good. Although I do have some negative news. Jim Cramer came out and said he's very bullish on Bitcoin. So we're probably going to collapse to the 70K range. Jim Cramer is just, the only one to really follow would be the inverse Jim Cramer on X. That's the best one. Oh, yeah, exactly. Oh, no. Bitcoin's dead now. I don't know, Penman. I think it's looking pretty good. Let's see. Well, this is Dog, which is ranked 188, which is not bad. Actually, let's see if it's gone down anymore. 25%. 26. That's nothing to write home about. Let's see how Bitcoin's doing today. I will say, quite a rebound, right? Yesterday, or June 22nd, I should say. Was that Sunday? Yeah. Right before we were supposed to have World War III, when the U.S. bombed those nuclear sites, or those uranium enrichment sites, I should say. We dropped to 98,000. Then me and Jerry came on, and Jerry was such a smart guy. Jerry's such a smart guy. He's a great guy. Jerry B. Hall said, does this change the underlying asset proposition of Bitcoin? He said, was there like a double spend somewhere? Did somebody come out and reveal they were Satoshi Nakamoto? Did people stop using it as a store of value? And did we have all the ETFs collapse? And I was like, well, no, that's not true, Jerry. He's like, yeah, exactly. He goes, this has nothing to do with Bitcoin. Buy Bitcoin. He was right. Although I will say, people, we stare at the 24-hour and we're very happy, but we really should be taking a little bit look back. Over 7 days, Bitcoin's still up 1.2. Ethereum, massive run up, but still it's down 2%. XRP is up 1% for 7 days. Wow, watch out. Solana down 2. Tron is up a whopping 0.1. Justin Sun, the best marketer in the world. Doge going down 2. Cardano is down almost 5% in 7 days. Hyperliquid and so on and so forth. I look at the 7 day just to kind of ground myself and go, you know what? This isn't low. But look at Hedera, 2.4. Anyhow, we could do that all day. But yeah. A lot of people with recency bias. Krantz said it right. Try zooming out. We do that. And that's the big thing. There was a great post and it said, don't focus on the all-time highs for the year. Focus on the lows for the year. And in 2025, I wonder what it is. I want to say 76,000. No, it can't be that low, could it? Let's see. Oh, damn it. It is true. Did you know on April 8th, 2025, we were at $76,000? Trying to wrap my head around that. So that's insane. Wow. Whoever was buying here did a great job, huh? I'm just saying. That's the low for the year. We are way, way up. That's a good, we should really talk about that more, I think. Damn, 76,000. See, even I forget. I do this every day. Let's see. I know it because I bought it. Nice. I mean, taking a look for the year, if we go back over 365 days, yes, you are right. Yeah. Chris says, yeah, I got a limit order and for 75. Jeez, Chris is crushing it. Year to date was 54K. OK's got it. Let's see. Oh, wow. Bitcoin was 90 days above 100K, baby. It's very nice. And I think that's it. So, yeah, that's it for today. Let's see, Tuesday, Wednesday. I don't think there's really too much going. Oh, you know what? That's not true. There was one thing I neglected to talk about, which was economic calendar. What do we have that we need to pay attention to? So let's see. Monday, Tuesday, Case-Shiller Home Price Index. Yeah, boring. Consumer confidence, yawn. Although, consumer confidence is quite low, 93, compared to what they thought it was going to be 94. Wow, whatever. Wednesday would be a good one. New home sales, 743,000 was previous. The expectation is 695,000 new home sales. I wouldn't expect there'd be a lot of new home sales. I mean, rates are up. I mean, still 6 3/4, 7.25, I forget. And I mean, prices are still too high, in my opinion. So I don't think new home sales will be, massively huge. But Thursday's the big day. U.S. trade balance and goods, inventory, jobless claims, as it always does. There's core durable. GDP is going to come out, the second revision. I bet they're going to revise it down. Cleveland Fed president speaks and pending home sales. That's not that great. But that's what we have for the macro, and that's it for today. So everybody, like today's video, thumbs up, subscribe, relax. It's going to be great. I'm feeling pretty good. We just totally avoided World War III. I think we should be a little bit more bullish. That's it for today. Thanks, everybody. I appreciate you. See you on the next one. Have a great rest of your day. Adios.